Happy fall, class! Today we're going to do a pumpkin patch. We're going to use something fancy called linear perspective. That's a special way to draw to make things look like they're going off into the distance right here. This is what it will look like when it's all the way finished, but we're not going to get this far today. We're only going to get to the part where we just about outline all of our pencil lines. Okay, so I have my paper right here, and before I even get started, I need to put my name, my teacher's name, and my table number right here. So I'll do that now, and I'm using pencil. I'm going to pretend that my teacher is Mr. Trout, and that I sit at table number 3. Okay, now that I have that on there, I'm going to flip my paper over. And you can see that I'm using landscape mode. That's where it's very long this way, long that way, and not very tall. It's wide and short. Okay? So in looking at this, our very first thing we're going to do is to draw this line right here. Okay? This is called the horizon line. This line divides the sky from the ground. And we want our line to be up towards the top of our page. We don't want it in the middle or at the bottom. So we're going to put our line up towards the top. Now you can get your pencils ready to go. Get a pencil in your hand and we're going to draw. You're going to see me using a Sharpie. Okay? You're going to use a pencil because if you make a mistake, you can erase it. But I'm using a Sharpie so that's easier for you to see. Now we're going to draw that horizon line right about here. Okay, look on your paper, see if you can find about this far down. You're going to get your pencil and you're going to go just right across. Draw lightly, so if you need to erase, then you can. Right across your paper. And now we have a horizon line. You see that? We've got our horizon line in there. That divides the sky from the ground. The next thing we need to do is put a special dot in our paper. It's right here, and it's called the vanishing point. Vanish means to disappear. And if you look at these garden rows, they look like they're going right into that dot. They're vanishing. They're disappearing at that dot. That gives us the filling of distance when we look at that. If we didn't have that vanishing point, then our rows would look a little bit like this. And it would just look like it was flat. Like it's a fence almost. You can see that we don't know whether they're going anywhere. They just look like they're all the same width. All right? Or it might even look something like this. That horizon line is crazy. And these garden rows are going any which way. Who knows? There's no vanishing point there. We want our paper to have a vanishing point. Okay, a little dot. So on my paper, I'm going to find about the middle, and I'm going to put a little dot in there. Okay, that's my vanishing point. And we're going to draw our first garden row. We're going to draw this one right here. We're just drawing this line and that line. It's okay if your lines aren't super straight. And it's okay if your garden rows look different than mine. We're all different people and our artwork will look different as well. So I'm drawing that first garden row in there. Okay, that's the first garden row. I just drew that one right there. Next, what we're going to do is add 2 more lines. A line here and a line here. So that we'll have 2 more garden rows. And I hope you're following along with your pencil and drawing very lightly in case you need to erase. Okay, so now I have 1, 2, 3 garden rows. And I'm going to draw 1 line, 2 lines so that I can make my last 2 garden rows. So I'll come on this side And I'm drawing out one line there. And one line there. Okay, so now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 garden rows. And it's time to start putting pumpkins in our pumpkin patch. Now I want you to look carefully at these pumpkins because you can see something is going on as they get closer to that vanishing point, as they get farther away in the distance. The pumpkins get smaller and smaller and smaller. And if you've ever been on an airplane, you maybe have noticed that when you look out the window, things like people and cars and even buildings look teeny tiny. Because when you're in an airplane, you're way up high. And that's the same idea. When things are close to you, they look very big. And when things look farther and farther and farther away, they look small. So we're going to do that same thing with our pumpkins as well. And I want to show you this picture really quickly so that you can see how funny it looks if you don't do the big, medium, small. This pumpkin is farthest back and it's huge. It looks very silly. This one is closest to us and it's teeny tiny. So it doesn't give us that feeling of distance the way this one gives us that feeling of distance. We'll put this one aside. And you can do any kind of pumpkin you want, right? You can do pumpkins like these. You can do pumpkins like I'm going to draw on here. You can do your own idea of a pumpkin. I'm going to start big. And as I go closer to this vanishing point, my pumpkins are going to get smaller and smaller. Until they're just little dots. Maybe right here, I'll do those bumpy ones again. Just set that right there so we can see that still. My lumpy, bumpy pumpkin. Okay, and these ones I think I'll do really short and stout. Kind of looks like a lima bean. Now remember, you're using a pencil. I'm using this Sharpie so it's easier for you to see. Now I'm going to do really tall pumpkins. Look how tall that is. Okay, and I'll do these little guys, these little teeny guys. Little baby pumpkins. And they get smaller and smaller as I get farther away from the bottom of the page and closer to that vanishing point where everything disappears. Okay, I've got my pumpkins in here, and now I can put some details on them. I can put the lines. I can do a stem. I can even do a leaf coming off. And the curly vine thing. I can do that with each of those. And I can also add details here to the ground and the sky. And I'm going to add, I think I'll add a scarecrow. So here's the head. Here's the little fabric for the neck. You don't have to add a scarecrow. You can if you want to. I'm going to add the overalls. And the scrappy arms. On this one he has kind of sticks for hands. So I'll do that same thing here. Okay, and some straw for his feet coming out. And then of course the stick that he's on right there. I'll do a cute little smile with some stitching. A couple eyes because he's a friendly guy. Okay, and then I'm going to put in some grass right there because his stick is going into the ground. Okay, do some blades of grass if you want. You could put some mice or other animals in here if you want. I'm going to put my barn, this little barn here. I'm going to put this barn right here. I'll do a square and then another square, and inside I'll do a little X. And for the roof, I'm going to do a triangle. There, like that. Cute little barn. I think I'll do a sun right here. And I'll put a cloud in. There we go. So there's my picture. I'll go back in and I'm going to do all the details in these pumpkins so they don't just look like a bunch of circles. I can put in leaves and I can put in vines, the stems and things. You maybe want to do a jack-o'-lantern in yours. Okay, you can do that. Okay, cute little jack-o'-lantern. You get to pick. It's your artwork. Okay? Have fun with it.